going on in this program, it can be a little bit intimidating at first, but once you know your way around and know what everything is called, it gets a lot easier. So first, we'll look at the main Photoshop CS6 window. This is what you'll see whenever you open the program. At the top of the window is the menu bar. Throughout this course, we'll use this menu bar to perform functions, utilize features, and execute commands. The menu bar includes the following menus: File, Edit, Image, Layer, Type, Select, Filter, 3D, View, Window, and Help. The Workspace is all the space below the menu bar. It includes the area where you will open images, as well as the toolbars and panels that we'll learn about in just a few minutes. And if you've worked with earlier versions of Photoshop, you've probably noticed that the Workspace in CS6 is a little bit darker than in previous versions. In Photoshop, panels help you to edit or modify your work. There is a different panel for different tasks that you'll want to accomplish. Panels are located in the panel dock, which is located just to the right of the Workspace. Whenever you want to open a panel, it appears in the panel dock. Here you can see the color panel, which is open by default in Photoshop CS6. Some panels are grouped together. If you look at the color panel, you'll see a tab for another panel, the Swatches panel. This tab appears as a darker gray because it's not currently selected. But if you wanted to open the Swatches panel, you'd simply click on the tab. You can view all the available Photoshop panels by going to Window, and then selecting the panel you want to open. So you can see here that some of these have a check mark by them. The check mark simply means that that panel is already open. If you want to collapse a panel to an icon so that it's not displayed on the right side of the Photoshop window, just go ahead and click the double arrow here in this corner, and that will collapse it. Likewise, you can click it again to bring it back. If you want to close a panel, go here to this downward arrow with the lines. Click there and click Close. To close all panels, press Shift-Tab on your keyboard, and you can press Shift-Tab again to open those back up. The Toolbox is located on the left side of the Workspace. Every tool in the Toolbox allows you to edit, paint, view, or alter images or documents open in the Workspace. We're going to talk about the Toolbox and the various tools in it a lot throughout this course, but for now it's just important that you know where it is. To open a new file in Photoshop CS6, go to the menu bar and select File, New. In the Name text field, enter the name for the new file. You'll see that Untitled 1 is the default for Photoshop CS6, but you can type in whatever name you want. Next, you'll determine the size of your new file. You can click on the downward arrow in the Preset field and choose a preset size, for example, US paper, which gives you 8.5 by 11 inches. Or if you prefer, you can specify the dimensions yourself. When you specify the dimensions yourself, you can say whether you want the size to be measured by pixels, inches, centimeters, millimeters, points, picas, or columns. For this course, we'll be using pixels. Next, select the color mode. Bitmap will create a bitmap image which uses rectangular elements or pixels to create an image. Grayscale means that the image you create will be in black and white. RGB images contain 3 color channels, red, green, and blue, and should be used for any images that will be displayed on screen, such as on the web or in a slideshow. CMYK should be used for images that will be printed, and it contains 4 color channels: cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Lab Color contains all the colors of RGB and CMYK. This is good to use when you're going to individually edit luminance and color values. It's also useful when creating images when working with photo CD images. Now let's choose a bit depth. The bit depth tells how much color information is available for each pixel in an image. The more bit depth you have, the more accurate your colors will be. So for example, a bit depth of 1 means the pixels have 2 color choices, black and white. A bit depth of 8 has 2 to the 8th power, or 256 color choices. The larger your bit depth, the larger the file. For this course, we'll choose 8. After you select the color mode and the bit depth, You can then choose a background color by selecting a color in the background contents field, and we'll stick with white for now. If you click on the Advanced tab, you can further specify colors and pixels, and you can also hide those options if you don't want to use them. When you're finished, you have two options. You can either click Save Preset to save the new image size as a preset image, and this is really helpful if you'll be using this size frequently. To do that, just click Save Preset, type in a name, and then check all the aspects of the new image that you want to save, and then click OK. And then that will be displayed in your presets so that you can pull that up at any time. If you don't want to save the image as a preset, then you can just click OK. And then the new file will open up in your Photoshop workspace. To open an existing file in Photoshop, go to File, Open, and then you'll navigate to find the file on your computer. Click on that, click Open, and that new file will open up in your workspace. You can easily view what documents you have open, as well as toggle back and forth between multiple files. So you can see there's two documents open here. All the documents that you currently have open will appear in the document bar, and that's located just below the menu bar right here. And to toggle between those, you simply click on the file name that you want open, and that will open in the workspace.